You know, things in life are sent to try you and upset you. I'm currently in drive, but going backwards. There's a bird of prey. I don't know what it is, but a big bird of prey I seen this morning before I went to town. I'm currently reversing. And when I came back from town, the big bird of prey was in the field again. So I thought, I didn't know where he went, so I thought, he's bigger than a red-tailed hawk. He's very big. So I thought, I'll just go down to, there's a big pond down there, so down the road. So I thought, I'll go to the big pond and have a look and see if he's there. If not, I'll just go home because it's hot. So I parked the truck, left the engine running in neutral, in park, get back into the vehicle. What happens? As soon as I put my foot on the brake to put it in drive, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't do nothing. So I tried to look underneath, but I can't see up far enough. So I thought, if I can get it home. So I just switched it off and played with it a little bit, and what happened? I got reverse in all gears only. So now reversing about, so now I'm reversing about 2 kilometers home in reverse. Interesting. When I get home, I'll let it cool down a bit and then I can check the linkage. But I'm now in drive, going in reverse. I put it in reverse, park, everything. I get reverse. So I'm hoping the cable come loose and I can just find it and tighten it back up. Put it in park, and the joys. So the truck was stuck in neutral with the engine running, and I couldn't select anything. Couldn't go forward or backwards. But I just kept fiddling with the lever, and I managed to get it into reverse. So no matter what gear it was on the selector, it was in reverse. So I reversed about 2.5 kilometers home and got it into the parking area. I went underneath. Well, I just had to switch it off first with the handbrake on, but it wouldn't start again. Of course, it's in reverse. So I got under the truck, found the lever where the input to the transmission, pushed it all the way forward. It wouldn't start because it's in low. So push it all the way to the back. But when you put it to the back and then you go push it a little bit harder, you can actually feel it go into park. It's a different feeling. So then it starts again, let the handbrake off, it moves just a little bit as the transmission holds it. So I know the vehicle's now in park. I can move the lever and it's selecting different gears. I checked all the linkage underneath there and it all looks fine. So that means the problem is that the linkage in the driver's compartment. So now I have to take the console out, which I'm in the process of doing. Just stop for a drink of tea, and now I can try to get the console out and see why the linkages come loose. Okay, so I finally got the console off, but while I was wiggling the lever here, the gear selector, okay, something's going on here, funny, I don't know what's happening. So I'm moving this lever back and forth to select the gear, but this lever here is not moving, and it actually feels like it's loose underneath. It's not connected to anything. Yeah, so this is the problem, like I thought, right here. This lever, this cable here is not connected to this mechanism here. See, look, see it's moving? I'm moving this thing here, right? But that shaft's not moving. See that? See? Okay, news update. I found that was wrong. This is the shaft that goes into this sheath here that goes through the floor and around to the side of the transmission, which selects the gears on the transmission. So there's a little circlip here, fell off. Right there. You can feel like a little raise point. So this, well, I don't know where the circlip's gone. So I need a circlip to go on that to hold this here onto this shaft. So when you see I'm wiggling this gear lever, which this is wiggling, and then you can see it's pulling this in and out, see? And this movement here goes down underneath and selects the gear. So now I'm in low, second, and now I'm in drive. And that's, oh, yeah, that's neutral, and that's drive there. So right now it's staying on, but it popped off somehow. So there's like a little circlip that goes in there. So if I can find the circlip, I can push it on and lock that back to the shaft, and then I'll be good to go again. Okay, news update. So this little plastic thing sits on a little shaft, which you can just see here, and it goes all the way through to this side. It's a plastic like donut that pushes over this shaft, and there's a slightly raised point just here. So what I found was I have a rubber grommet. I have a couple rubber grommets that, and actually I got lots of them, but they're all too small, and I just found one. So I pushed and pushed and pushed and finally got it over the edge, and pushed and got it over the raised point, and I thought it fell off, but what it did is it pushed itself right inside, right in there. It's real tight. So it seems to be working now. So if I put my foot on the brake, you see, changing gears. So the shaft is, you can see this is the sheath, and then the shaft inside is taking the movement to the transmission gearbox. So in theory, it's fixed, and that little grommet is holding it on the shaft. The grommet's not actually holding anything except for it to keep it on the shaft, so it should be fine. So what I'm going to do is put it, actually just leave it like this, start the engine, move up and down the driveway here, and see if it's okay, and then if it's okay, I'll put it all back together. So what I'm going to do now is, first of all, see if the engine will start, because it has to be in park or neutral to start. So if the engine starts and I'm in the right place at this end, it should be okay. Then I'm just going to go forward and reverse, and make sure that little coupling don't fall off. And if it doesn't, I'll put it all back together and see how we go from there. One of the hardest things about working on a vehicle here, you know, when I was in Germany, I stopped working on cars because it was too cold. And here, the hardest part is it's too hot. You know, my glasses are getting beads of sweat all over them, and my eyes are full of sweat. So, not fun. I'm happy to work on my own vehicle, but I'm not going to work on anybody else's. And you know, my head's full of junk, so I can fix most things, but it's just too hot. So let's see what happens. So it was in low gear all the way back here. See, low gear. So all the way back is in low. So now I'm going to put it all the way up into park. And now see if the engine will start, because it's in park, I hope. Perfect. So I'm just going to put it into forward gear. So it'll come all the way as reverse, neutral. You can hear the engine pitch change. Now drive. There we go. Handbrake off and go forward. go back to the shade now and I'm going to look at that washer, that little grommet I put on there, and hopefully that looks like it's still holding on. This is the coupling for the gear changer. This is the plastic connector that goes to the shaft, that goes to the transmission gearbox to change the gear. That little shaft goes all the way through, and I just put that little grommet on there, and it stayed on nicely. Job done. Put that in there all the way back. It's still connected, and it looks good to me. So that little grommet's on there. It's like to try to give you a description of what the grommet's like. It's not soft rubber, it's a hard rubber. Not a plastic, but a hard rubber, so it doesn't have a lot of give to it. But I managed to push it over the edge of that thing, and it's now pushing I pushed the grommet onto the shaft and then over the raise point, which then pushes the coupling onto the main shaft of the gear changer, so it can't fall off again. And just what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a spare one in the car, because if it happens again, I know exactly what to do. Pit stop done. But still sweating. Haha. Am I handsome now? Hot. So, a little bit of drama. I stopped down there about 2.5 kilometers down the road to try to see what that big bird of prey was. Bigger, I'm telling you, in the field when he was looking down eating whatever he's eating, he looked like a duck. But when he lifted his head up and flew off, his wingspan is bigger than a red-tailed hawk, for those who know what a red-tailed hawk is. If you look at a normal-sized hawk, this guy was bigger. So that's why I went down there to see if he was going to be about by where the water was, but he wasn't. Got back in the car, engine was running, got in the truck, engine's running. It was in park, but as soon as I pulled it to go into gear, you could feel there was no resistance, so I know it wasn't connected to the transmission. I didn't know if it was the transmission then, but when I got under there and looked, it all looked secured. And I took the console apart, and sure enough, it fell apart in there. And now it's a small miracle. Sometimes I wonder, like, am I doing this by myself or is somebody watching me? And that was one of those times where I think somebody was watching me. So I'm very happy. I'm going to find another one of those grommets, so I can, if anything happens in the future, I can put it. I know what it is doing, and I can put that grommet back on. Okay, guys, I'm going to put everything away, clean my truck a little bit of Kevin's perspiration, and go in the house and cool off. Thank you so much for watching. Hands up who was laughing. Okay, no laughing. So, what was a little bit of drama, I had to reverse 2.5 kilometers, and some of the neighbors going by like, what's Falang doing? But it's fixed again. They'd be like, that boy's crazy. Okay guys, I'm going to sign off. Look after yourselves. All the best. Good night. Buckets of blessings. Rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. Look after yourselves.